All right. I gotta take off my glasses so I can see. If anybody comments, you know, interact and everything. I'm sorry about the shape shifting screen and all that. Just enjoyed some oats. I think oats are healthy for you. They're better for you without the microwave because the microwave is new technology and new technology kills. It's called Skynet and I had raisins and almonds, and I feel pretty damn healthy. Um, Unlike eating cheese pizza with Philly cheese steak and cheese and crackers. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I guess like my favorite food as a child was grilled cheeses, and my mom's been a vegetarian or pescatarian, vegetarian, eating fish, and I mean, she ate seafood like all of her life, and then supposedly I got her to stop eating seafood, and but I'd always see her with like a potato and a big um clump of cheese. So I'm sorry to bore you with that shit, but and then I just like macaroni and cheese. So yeah, I really like cheese. But I know I shouldn't be you know leaning back like that. Um or whatever. Like gotta do the whole human thing and connect to technology. If that wasn't obvious enough. So yeah, it's just what's going on is so I could go to like a retreat, not really a rehab, but the the rehab um would cost somewhat to like it would cost like $600, and then a vasectomy is $900. So this is pretty much where I'm at. Do I risk it all and try to get sterilized? Or do I go to a retreat or a rehab for like probably $6,000 or some shit? Um, of course, I'm not under the belief that I have Medicaid or Medicare or whatever, Medicaid, Medicare, Obamacare, I don't know, Medicare, I think, Medicaid, Medicare, I don't know. I don't think it really matters, but um somehow like if I were able to work this out, um I could get a vasectomy. Like if I got a vasectomy last year, I could have gotten a vasectomy for $30 without a doubt. I had an appointment for a vasectomy and I canceled it. Um and yeah, I just, like want to get a vasectomy now. Even if my balls fall off. So yeah, I'm not really I just I think, I'm gonna have to cook my food, like a caveman or whatever. I can't do the fruitarian lifestyle unless I eat bananas all day, which I think I can work it out. I think I can survive like, for a year. Like I think I can, get into the wheelchair. I don't know. I don't really give a shit. I just think it's cruel and unusual punishment. What like I've seen with um just health being destroyed or just the uh monopoly of every boring uh thing under the sun. So I'm not really, trying to, and I'm going on night two without sleep. So pardon mm, my my English. I sound like weird, and but yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. Hopefully, I could get into some. I'm just gonna set up an appointment. Um, I say I'm gonna do that. I don't know if I'm really gonna do that, but if I did do that, then that would just relieve myself of a lot of um, whatever, like stress. It would make, my bike ride a little bit more manageable. Whether or not like managing is, a good thing, I don't really care. Um, but after what I've heard in since March of this year, like I'm not going to risk having babies because I know what money. I know money is. I know people need money. Don't have enough of it, and I'm already getting money for nothing. Um, and that doesn't feel good. And I don't want to put I don't want to place a bigger burden on any more people than I have to. Um, so hopefully I'll be productive in getting sterilized. And to a comment, like somebody was talking about a cat. Sorry, I'm not really sure of your name. Um, and I don't want to dive into any synchronicity or anything like that, but um, I'm just omitting that I I killed after I read your comment. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna reply to this comment in my video. And I go on to, I believe I killed a toad. Like I was driving to the gym in like the middle of the night, and I think I killed a toad. And then, I didn't sleep all night. And then I'm on the highway and I'm like, okay, I gotta watch out for deer. I gotta watch out for deer. I gotta watch out for deer. Um, Getting to my parents' house with my bike in the back, and I gotta do stuff for my parents this week. And doesn't that sound so interesting? But yeah, I believe I killed a butterfly. Like a butterfly just flew out. Like I was getting ready to watch out for everything alive, and then this lady's tailgating me, and I a butterfly flies out in front of my car, and it's just like, yeah, what the fuck is this? This is just um after hearing the argument about like you don't know what a praying mantis feels like when it's being crushed or whatever. I mean, it's just true. I mean, um that's kind of like where there's a thin line of determination for me, or like the thin red line of just okay, you can see it all. Um and that's not to say I was like a sperm cell or something like that. Like I was a sperm cell and a sperm cell or whatever. I mean, but the consciousness argument is pretty clear for me. I don't want to infect the world with more suffering, so I don't want to disregard that either. And then this whole argument that we have to procreate, I don't know why um we have to procreate, because we literally have to go to war. Um, so why, if you're at war, why if I'm at war would I, you know, try to rationally say like, okay, I'm gonna start a family. Um, my only temptation or problem with getting a vasectomy is, well, like, what if I lose, um, what if I lose my dignity and respect? Like, what if I just don't have any self-respect and just do something crazy and catch syphilis? And like, I've paid for sex twice, 3 times. I've spent like over $400 on 3 different women. $15 in Mexico, and I said 300, right? Yeah, 250 and 220 in, you know, where I live, where my, Northern Virginia. I live in, I live on the, you know, the line of West Virginia now, so I'm slowly moving towards heroin hillbillyville, and soon I'll be out of hillbilly heroinville and on to bumfuck hell, um, or heaven. But yeah, so that's sort of where I'm going with this. Everybody that believes in me is not gonna like this, but I can't take these symptoms. And people don't want to talk about that on my channel. People, I think, come here for different reasons, but like the health topic for me is, well, if I want to optimize my health, um, like whether it's my mental health, I mean, I don't think I could deal with a woman uh and her child or our child. Um, I don't think a woman should deserves to deal with me or someone like me. Um, Someone that's, on Social Security and disability and food stamps and um, government benefits. But I want to be tactical, and I want to be tedious in the awareness that, um, like, I am never going to reproduce, if that makes sense. But it would take a big load off my back, a big load, um, to know that I'm not going to conceive children. Because this whole idea that marriage is evil and the presidents didn't marry, so you should marry, and marriage is it's basically just this mechanism that just made America more racist, because uh, the only people that were marrying were white people. So, you know, you couldn't afford a marriage, you couldn't afford a wedding, you couldn't, whatever. It's just so, I'm just really, I've had enough of it, and I don't want to just keep engaging in something that I'm not paying any attention to, um, which is like a possible child. So, antinatalism. Uh, why would I be a natalist? Well, I would be a natalist because I would believe that I have the capacity. I like that word, capacity, or the capabilities to, uh, do something bigger with my life. I have a friend who just had a kid, um, who just had a little baby boy, and he got off disability, and he got off Social Security, and he's dreaming. He has real dreams or ambitions, and he's using this whole um, life or experience to capture you know, that whatever that is, whatever parents have, um, to me, it's like a blank slate. I mean, um, there's another argument that's just sort of like, well, I'm not gonna say that. I mean, his parents are stupid, but I think men are just more basically stupid. I like the George Carlin approach, where it's just like, yes, that's very stupid. Of you, man. Like, you're a stupid man. I'm a stupid man. Stupid man. Like, whoa, that was fucking weird. Yeah. So there's that whole thing that'll, make me lose my credibility in the future. Um, but I'm not really in it for the credibility. I think I'm more in it for exposing just this debt of humor we're playing. It's just it needs to stop. And I should mention too that I was in this conversation before I came to where I'm at now. Um, my parents' house, which everybody is welcome to come to anytime. I'm so lonely. Um, I was in this conversation and I started like hearing this sound, and I was like, what could this possibly fucking be? And I've had a hallucination like this before. Or I started asking, like in this conversation, I started asking God, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that?" And I was like, really trying to pry it out of him. And then I asked him, "Do you hear that bird?" And he's like, "Yeah, I hear the bird." So I'm under the impression that he couldn't hear what I was hearing. And last time I had like a hallucination like this, I was trying to camp on a mountain. Um, a mountain, like a 4,000-foot mountain, or like 2,000-foot mountain. Um, but like, yeah, I had to, hike 2.5 hours to get to the spot. But I started hearing this like clicking, and then this time it was like a sponge. It was like, but it was like a spongy like click. It was fucking weird. And I'd asked him, describe what you're hearing. And he's just like a hum. So he apparently didn't hear the sound, and I was, I haven't slept for a night, and I've been eating all healthy, and yeah, I'm just like, what the hell is going on with my brain? So I had to like go investigate, this tree, and I was just like looking up at this tree, and I still hear the sound. I'm like, you don't hear that? Um, this is like a 58-year-old guy with, fucking hair, beard. Um, I mean, he has bad eyesight, so pseudoscience says that you have good hearing abilities if you have bad eyesight or whatever. Uh, um, that whole itchy throat, whatever. You know what I'm talking about, right? If like blind people can hear better or whatever. But I mean, he couldn't hear the sound, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. And then and then I got a text, and it was pretty. Um, it was just a pretty scene in life. And in my condition, my mental condition, I have this symptom called mania. And I can either, push myself through the mania, or I can just let it push me into the ground, pretty much. Where I get depressed for 2 weeks, and then I'll have 2 weeks, and then I lose 2 nights of sleep typically. So 2 weeks. Um, so I mean, it started when I was working night shift, and excuse me. I think it happened a little bit before that. I think it's because of acid. Um, but that's probably far-fetched. That's probably reaching a little bit. I just, I've had this problem. It's been progressive, but I've never gone like 72 hours. I've never gone 3 days without sleep. Um, so it's been just this. I've just had this case of, well, damn, this is really something shitty. By the time I'm getting to like my third day, like if I don't sleep tonight, then yeah, it's probably gonna get dark. Um, and Not dark, but just like, oh, everything I do, I'm a risk. I'm risking so much. Like, yes, I would just put me on a bicycle and I will ride into hell. If you ask me to. And so that's basically, what's going on. Uh, there's a lot of videos that I want to catch up on and watch and all that stuff, but this whole idea of reducing to absurdity is just another. It just seems like it's another Republican sort of way to go about things. But I mean, I don't like how they speak in Latin, and I don't know. I don't know what my twist on reducing to absurdity is, but I like it. It's philosophy and it's not psychology and all my depressing bullshit. It's more thought formed. And yes, I can, put my music in there and stuff, but this dilemma I'm in debt about $300 a month is a big deal to me also. To my parents, I'm in debt about $300 per month. So that's $3,600 a year. I could easily earn that if I try a little bit at a job. Well, I mean, I don't know if I really could, but I could try. So that's a good idea. I've just had whatever. That's kind of the job thing is really bullshit. But I mean, it's been hard for me to work harder with a car. I think I would be more productive with a bicycle. So I've been working for my family and all this stuff and uh, money, all this money comes in, and then I have to continue to donate. But it's like, I mean, yes, it's wrong for me to donate when I have or be generous, I guess, with my money to try to just be more interactive and have a meaningful conversation. I really am like I would throw away everything for nicotine. I would throw away everything for nicotine. Uh, and I've heard, that before. I've heard that before. Like, nicotine comes first, and I just kind of need to smoke something. If not, if not tobacco, then maybe marijuana. But I don't want to smoke marijuana because I don't want to go to jail. So I don't want to just smoke marijuana either. I don't like it, but I don't like the fact that I'm addicted to nicotine. But if I could somehow go on this health kick, so you might be dealing with something where it's like I can't let go of this. Like I can't let go of depression. I can't let go of watching too much TV or whatever it is. And then it's like, well, I could do this maybe instead of what I do all day. Um, like last week, it was for me. It was just watching TV and videos and food. I was like, I'm a foodie. I'm like, I'm really just a foodie. So I don't want to have to really just. I don't want my life to be lived like that, and I don't want my life to be lived like under some shell of having sperm that work or capable sperm where I might blast out a disaster. I might shoot disasters, like Siamese twins or just unimaginable stuff. Not to say that, like unimaginable consciousness, not to say that it might not be for the better. Uh, but eh, not to say that life is a game of odds or anything like that, but it is to I'm reluctant to say like, well, I don't want to risk everything. But then that's an argument too. That's, do I should I risk it all? Should I take a fucking risk? Um, because the fucking risk is pretty serious. Uh, it's so serious, like it's almost like I want to take this consciousness and make it the word of God, and that's not how I want to go down. Um, and that's just another piece of that consciousness that I'm talking about. To me, only saying it's consciousness because it's like, yeah, I hear voices, and I've been saying I've heard voices for 5 years, almost 5 years now. I've been telling people I hear voices. And I never thought to say like I hear voices. It just sort of happened. I just started saying like I'm hearing voices, and then I started asking people like, you don't hear those voices? So yes, I have a very like I'm very manic depressive mostly, and then aside from that, it's just like, I mean, I was talking to somebody today because I talked my ass off today because I'm manic. I have mania. Um, just meaning like whatever's going on with me. I mean, that hallucination was unreal, but yeah, I was telling somebody today. The fuck was I telling them? I was telling them that, well, that really sucked to lose that train of thought. Um, oh yeah, I didn't, speak to a soul for like a week and a half. Other than just, buying my food and all that stuff. Like it was pretty depressing. And I didn't find anything enlightening about it. It wasn't enlightening, and it was it's just another piece of an argument that I don't want to have to deal with anymore. Uh because I don't really want to worship the dead. And yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right now. And we're only halfway through. So I don't know how long this is going to last, but I know that this is probably more productive, or at least I don't know. Whenever I, go to these rehabs or go to these YouTube, I could say these YouTube channels or anything like that. I'm just saying like the scale, the scale for me is going a lot more towards the YouTube channels where I should put my sort of like, if you're going to put your money where your mouth is, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and give to these people. I mean, if I could donate all my money to some foundation or something, like, yeah, I would think about doing that because I'm pretty prone to just surviving. But it does come down to being pushed into a matter or a manner of like conducting myself in a way that is most productive for the planet. So I don't want to come up with some example, but like if like California broke off or something, uh, because I'm just sort of done with like the starving children in Africa argument. I mean, that was sort of last year for me. It just doesn't seem like, anything should move anymore. Like we just stop all planes. Like why are we still flying planes in 2018? I mean, okay, fly a space shuttle every now and then, but can't we all just come together, like sort of thing, and sing Kumbaya, my lord, like for the hell of it. But like if California broke off, or I don't know, this climate change stuff is pretty iffy to me, but uh, I guess I can't say that I actually would. Um, donate all my money to some charity just to starve to death. Just as much as I can't really say like right now that I would get a vasectomy tomorrow if I could. If I could get a vasectomy tomorrow, I probably would because I'd probably be better off. I'd probably do something more inteligente, muy inteligente with my moolah, baby. I would probably do something more intelligent with my money just because it's like money is like a language. It's like it really is like a language. And any as these languages that we can see now are pretty much like placid or just not like giving us much. I mean, they're like it's just like we need to hear somebody's voice or we need to hear somebody's uh whatever, you know. We need to hear something. We need to have feedback or we need to understand each other. I think that's what it really comes down to is we need to have an understanding. And the understanding can't really come full circle until like this whole, money issue. So this whole usury concept is this concept of what the Muslims do or what the Muslims are trying to prevent. So they're anti-usury, and usury is just what's going on with the banks and all that stuff. Like this debit to credit, this debit to credit to assets to whatever, like all this economy stuff that I really don't understand. Um, yet. But yeah, so they're trying to prevent all of this stuff and everything should be um not exchanged, but sort of I don't know. I don't understand. I can't say I understand their culture, but supposedly this is what these Nazis were doing and everything, but it just all this conspiracy stuff just doesn't make sense. And then the whole idea of a conspiracy, like think if we had a conspiracy instead of a democracy. I mean, this is the way I thought it out. Like you have a conspiracy, um, and then you have a democracy. So obviously, like democracy, you think Democrats and all that stuff, and then conspiracy, you think conservatism, Republican or whatever. I mean, that was just what it was for me. But if you hear me out, it's just this concept that, well, if you have a conspiracy, there has to be conspirators. So the conspirators, like if you have a democracy, you'd have Democrats. So it's just kind of that idea. It's just like if you have a sister, then you know a female or something. Like it's very. I'm just trying to again reduce this to absurdity because I have to waste some more time, unfortunately. Suicidal thoughts. I mean, that's like, well, yeah, I've been sort of contemplating suicide a lot, but I mean, I've never been a cutter and yeah, I don't really want to cut myself. I've liked burning myself in the past, but I don't really want to burn myself either. I don't really want to hurt myself, but I don't want to think about these thoughts either. And the only way these thoughts are going to go away is if I take medication. And if I take the medication, I'm putting my health at risk. And if I'm putting my health at risk, I might not be able to go camping again and hear fucking hallucinations. So it's a dilemma, but it's not a dilemma that is gonna end well for me. And that's why uh picking up and gravitating towards, a little bit more of reality than just saying like, okay, I'm gonna ride a bike and join the bike team. I'm gonna join the Winchester bike team. I'm gonna climb whatever. I used to say I wanted to climb Mount Everest, or I used to say I wanted to be in the NFL. I used to say a lot of crap. And the best I got was hitchhiking the West Coast. I mean, that's the best I did. The best thing I ever did in my life, the most accomplished task I ever completed was just hitchhiking the West Coast. In my experience, like from a standpoint of mental health, maybe from a standpoint of how I physically felt and how um, you know, just said that just sounds completely absurd. And I don't want to be like an absurd person, and I don't want to have to produce more absurdity. This whole um, thing is pretty absurd. It's pretty absurd to say that Donald Trump is like the worst fucking human being in the world or something just because he didn't, choose any of that shit. I mean, we're all just, I guess, doomed and glooming about the dooming or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty, it's pretty fucked up. So I don't, yeah, I don't really want to have to, you know, do this for the rest of my life. But then it's the whole like, well, do I care if I end up in a wheelchair, or do I want to kill another butterfly or kill another um toad, or possibly kill a cat, or possibly kill a deer, or possibly kill a dog, or whatever. No, I really don't. I really don't want to cause any more harm. I really don't think that this whole idea that harm is supposed to be that harm is somehow uh like harm can be an asset. Like if everything is not about suffering or whatever, I mean, you're just saying harm is not an asset. And I know I'm not the most intelligent person or like whatever. I don't have like credentials, or I never studied philosophy, or I don't know anything about anti-natalism, but I know that some of the arguments out there are just so stupid and tripe and disconnected. There's just so it's just so disconnected, and even the people selling health, um, they don't disgust me. It just disgusts me that, well, they're not going to like openly admit to like saying, okay, yes, this is how you sell your soul. I'm not selling anything, but this is how you sell your soul. Um, so you should at least admit to that, like, because it's just this matter of, I mean, if we admit to, saying we're selling our soul, we're just, going along with this stupid fable and all this stuff. It just seems really crazy to me that any of these conspiracies or conspirators, like the aliens or Jesus or Buddha, or any of these people that are causing people to set themselves on fire or walk around with crucifixes on their neck, or uh preventing climate change or whatever. It just seems like, all these people, all of these ideas just aren't much better, but it's like there are saving grace or something, if that makes sense. Like a saving grace, as in like, it's like the bell has, told. I mean, we have intelligence, we have IQs over 100, and we can comprehend like what's happening around us, and we can be robotic and walk the talk. Chubby cheek, fat boy, fat face. What was you saying about Jesus? Well, I'll just call you Double H. You're almost Triple H, but you're just not quite double. You're just Double H. You're like Double H. So, no, it's just this. It's just Jesus is an idea. I mean, first of all, Europeans or Anglo-Saxons, or whatever. I mean, we probably crucified. It just comes down to the crucifixion for me. It doesn't come down to any walking on water or anything like that. It's all symbology. It's all, if you ever watch Zeitgeist movement or whatever, I mean, it's just all symbology. Like, it's just pure astronomy and all of the stuff in the Bible. I mean, that's what it represents. I mean, Satan is not actually real. But sure, there can be, spiritual principles involved in what comes down to religion and all that stuff. It's just, I'm not saying that Jesus is real, but I'm basically saying Jesus was black and we probably just crucified the hell out of every, you know, whatever. Just this, it's just this whole uh natural selection thing going on. Uh it seems like I mean that's what it seems like to me anyway. But no, I'm not saying really anything about Jesus. I'm trying to play the role of the atheist here. I'm not trying to play the role of the Christian. I'm not really talking or, putting down your God or anything. I just, I don't want to act like I don't want to act like it doesn't exist to me. Okay, whatsoever you ask the Father in my name, he'll give to you. John chapter something. Yeah, I mean that's kind of my point. It's like um for okay, so the Bible could basically come down to love. It comes down why does it have to come down to love or hate? And why does hate have to be all about Satanism? Like basically the worship of Satan. When really all Jesus did was worship Satan. He just worshiped Satan. He just went to war with Satan. So that's kind of my point. I mean, if you really want to get technical from where I'm coming from with it, it's just uh worship is just a war ship, and you're at war on the ship. So Jesus was at war with Satan because he was worshiping Satan. So was Jesus a Satanist? I mean, like it just so that's kind of what I'm saying. Atheists, fat uneducated. Yeah, I'm. Yes, yes. Um, not very, really giving a fuck about just stupidity. Because it kind of comes down to like, well, this is pretty stupid. Um, so, but again, it's not to down, you know, your your God or whatever. So, I mean, if that works for you, that works for you. But it really just doesn't work for me. I've gotten on my knees and prayed like a Muslim, like for 2 weeks in a row and all that. Like I've participated in Ramadan, and I've went to church probably 100 times in my life, and I didn't get much out of it. And the more I learned about basically the deception of what all this is about, because it's not about anything happening to anything in the world. It's just about, well, it's fucked up. So, fat boy, I've studied the Greek and everything. You're so wrong. Well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know why I'm so wrong if I'm just saying like yes, Jesus came from Jesus, and Jesus came from Zeus, and Zeus came from some Greek bullshit, and that's pretty much all, that ever happened. And you're calling me some fucking uneducated person because you think I'm being evil or worshiping Satan just because I'm telling you the truth, just because it's like a form of technology or something, just because this is an easier way to like do technology or run technology than anything like we've ever invented. I mean, we can just talk to people. Like you can be in Greece right now and I can be having a conversation with you, and like you're gonna explain to me how that's some sort of like Jesus prophesied that or something with Satan. Like, you know, Satan told Jesus, you can come back, 2,000 years from now and you'll be on your cell phone, your iPhone, but you don't want to do that. So you're just gonna get crucified, buddy. Like, I don't know, it just fucking sucks. Of course, these are cults. That's not a fair comparison. Well, I mean, like the whole thing about fucking cult. I mean, I don't mean to have, Charlie Manson as my fucking icon just because, I'm trying to run a cult or something. I never even thought of that. I never even thought of the whole cult thing. Um, I don't think when I think of Charlie Manson, I don't think of this like person running a cult. I think of Charlie Manson as an actual person, as how he grew up and everything, and more of just, his psychology than his freaking intelligence or whatever, or what he stood for. Who knows what he stands for or what he stood for? Or even the people that were crucified back in the day. I don't think we crucified anybody that had a name. Probably not one person, was crucified that actually had a fucking name. They were probably all just nameless Roman drunks or whatever. I mean, who fucking knows? Criminals. I mean, be like a better, execution way to execute people than, I don't know, like fucking stoning them to death. But I mean, you can't focus on some false god or whatever, some fucking god to try to lead you, to life, because you're never gonna be, if you believe in God, you can't believe that you're ever gonna be good enough, because God is always gonna be better than you, as God, and God is always gonna be whooping your ass. And then the whole thing is, why is God a man? Why does God have to be a male? Like, why can't God ever be a woman? And that's what I have a problem with too. Like, why can't God be a woman? I come from a YouTube education, excuse me, where I was like learning about how God was, this woman, or like, I mean, it was more interesting than the whole Jesus thing. You're studying basically the evil religions that don't teach right. I'm not studying the evil religions. What are the evil religions? I mean, what's a good religion? A religion of truth. I don't know what a religion of truth is. Like, I mean, are you a Freemason or something? I mean, from my understanding, the Freemasons are just a bunch of gangsters, and they just murder, whoever they want to. They murder people, and like they murder their own basically. And if you don't do what your Freemason brother says, or your Mason brother says, then you can't be free, and you have to freaking die. I mean, okay, but I get your point a little bit. You need the New Testament, King James Bible. I don't know what's up with the King James Bible. All they like, I really don't get the King James Bible. I don't know why. Just because you can speaketh the way it I'm speakingeth now, it that it matters if you don't speaketh that way, or you're satanic if you don't speak that way. I mean, I don't know why it has to be King James Bible. I don't know why it has to be some book of spells. Like, if it's a book of spells, then, like, yes, you should piss on it. You should put it in your bathtub and take a piss on it, or you should light it on fire and just say, I mean, unless you're in prison, I would say that. If you're in prison, then yes, you might want to read it, because there's nothing else to read. And like, I'm not saying I wouldn't read the damn Bible, or I haven't read the Bible in the past, or in the past, like, I don't know, I have a Bible, in like where I live, but I just, you know, like, yeah, I'm not really gonna throw it away. I'm not saying I'm pissing it again, light it on fire again, because I'm kind of past that. And I'm kind of where, like, oh, this is just, this complete oppressive fucking thing to hold on to and everything. I think it'd be fucked up to raise a child fucking religious. How about that? With any fucking religion, I think it'd be really fucked up to raise a child religious and not try to focus on, like, education, just education in any way, like whether it's like this new age education where, whatever, homeschool, I don't care. Like, yeah, just like get ahead, just get ahead in education, but don't, like, go to church and everything every Sunday. I think that's more evil than good. Like, good being something where, like, okay, you're actually being a parent, you know. Sorry, I'll try to. There, is that better, sir? You need. I don't know why I would need the New Testament, and I don't. People never say you need the New Testament. The religious people are always saying that you need the Old Testament. You don't do anything out of the New Testament. I mean, okay, I get the New Testament is like all, all that and all this, but I don't think it's really going to help me that much. I mean, like the way it's helped me in the past. I think the Bible only helps you when you really have nothing. You got to be like so withdrawn from society that like it's entertaining to you or something. That's all I'm really saying. Uh, and try to read more than one comment at a time. Sweetie, I have personal experience of having my prayers answered praying to Yahuwah and Yahushua. Middle Eastern religion will always lead you astray. Well, I didn't know that they talk about Yahuwah or Yahuwah and Yahushua, in the King James Bible. I really didn't. I thought KGV. Well, I don't know. I still thought it mentioned Jesus, but yeah, yeah. So, um, okay, if I pick up another Bible, it'll be a KGV, but I don't think I'm gonna pick up another Bible. Um, just because I don't need the names. Like I don't need the label. I don't need to me, Yahushua was always just Joshua. And I read the book of Joshua. Joshua was the biggest badass in the Bible. And that's all you need to know about Joshua. It's like in the Old Testament or whatever. It does it doesn't, but I've done research and that seems to be the most likely to get my prayers answered. It doesn't what? I mean, I don't I mean when I was actually trying to get my prayers answered, I don't know. I'm not. I just don't want to play. I'm sorry, but I just don't want to play. The game, like the game with God or making deals with God and all that stuff. It's not in the King James version. Oh, it's not in the King James version. Well, I mean that's all I read. Like the only thing I was told to read was Joshua and Revelations, and I read Revelations and didn't get anything out of that. It was a complete comic book. And when I read Joshua, like yeah, I mean I saw a vision of Joshua. I was like, I mean, I saw a vision of Joshua, and Joshua was like this African American soldier with a bunch of armor. He looked like a Moor, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty cool. But that was when I was really hallucinating and talking to Jesus every day, like white Jesus, or Jesus or Jesus Christo or whoever Julius Caesar. I mean, that's who I think Jesus is. I think Jesus is Julius Caesar. Yahuwah and Yahusha. Yahuwah and Yahusha. Okay, okay. Yahuwah, Yahuwah and Yahusha. Yahuwah and Yahusha. I read about that in the comment section on Mag Bitter Truth, and ever since then, I've had more prayers answered than ever before. Okay, well, yeah. Instead of saying Jesus Christ, I'll say Yahuwah and Yahushua, or Yahushua, Yahusha. I'll say Yahuwah, Yahuwah, Yahusha, Yahuwah, Yahusha. No, but I really, I've been saying I've been saying Jesus Christ a lot. But no, I'm actually trying to say it's pronounced Yahuwah and Yahusha. Have you ever heard of Aya Yashem Hashem Aya Hashem Yashua or Aya Hashem Yashua? Yeah, that's who you know I could call my higher power, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm an atheist. But if I had a higher power would be Aya Hashem Yashua. Aya Hashem Aya Hashem Yashua. Aya Hashem Yashua. I mean that would be my higher power if I was, gonna go with the higher power. But I'm really not. Um I'm sorry. I do apologize. Um but I mean I appreciate you finding my channel, how harmony. Um I'd like to know more about you. Uh you called me honey. I'm presuming you're a woman, so I didn't mean to like go at you like you were a man or something, but like the Bible calls this a false isn't this a false idol in religion? This is a false idol or a spirit. It's okay. Sometimes fat faces have fat boy anger issues. Um, yeah. Damn. I don't even have hair on my face. I'm like I'm like a hermaphrodite, but yeah, I have yeah, I mean I get what you're saying. I do. I get what you're saying. Like I yeah. Um so thank you for conversating. Um but yeah, so this has been I guess a weird episode. Um anyway, yeah, I didn't mean to I don't know why I was doing that. Maybe I should just do it like this next time. Oh no, I'm just getting started. Yeah, but it's only going to be an hour long, so you only have 4 minutes to crucify me. So, like, where are you from? Are you from Africa? Yahuwah. Um, but no, I don't really want to play those games. But I mean, if it has to turn into this, or if it has to get like weird, um, every time and all that stuff, I'm not ba- I'm not I'm not based on Fat Boy's time. I'm under a more loving influence. I'm from Sacramento. Okay. Yeah. Uh the East Coast is yeah. I definitely, would prefer to live on the West Coast, but I just can't live on the West Coast. Fat, I'm Tanisha. Okay. I'm fat. Nice to meet you, Tanisha. Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess I've never read the King James Bible like correctly or whatever. So no, I'm not really studied in that. But I mean, I don't know why you take degrees or like all that stuff. I mean, I really just watched the 13 Sons videos and I follow his tweets and everything, and that's pretty much as far as I go with that. I used to be atheist. I come from a family of atheists, so I understand what you're going through. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I come from a family of Christians, and now I'm becoming atheist. So I feel like we can just put our differences, we can, bury the hatchet or put our differences behind us and just come up with certain ways. But yeah, if we had a child together, I don't think we could have a child together because I would want my child to be atheist. I would want my child to know the truth. I wouldn't want my child to have to understand or be, you know, put into a compartment or compartmentalized into some religion. I mean, I don't think any religions, I think we can both agree that religion is not good or religions are evil. And yeah, we can do some game and everything with invoking these spirits and everything, but usually that comes with a territory. Usually you have to say like, okay, well, my child is really important and my child has a name, therefore I got to invoke this name. Well, I respect you not wanting your child to be raised with fantasies, but sometimes you have to find a middle ground. Yeah, you have to find a middle ground, and it should be the right ground, and it shouldn't be, the ground. This shouldn't be the ground of the water that Jesus walked across. This shouldn't be the ground or you know, the ground that Jesus was crucified at. I think Jesus is a bunch of shit. I mean, it's Jeebus. It's really, it's just, I guess the word, I don't know. It's just terrible. I don't want to talk about it, but I just say Jesus Christ because I mean, I gotta get out of that. And I will, try to say like, Aya, Hashem, Yahshua. Um, well, like, fuck me. I can tell, I can tell you that Muslim, Islam, or whatever religion you've been raised in, of course, doesn't work. I wasn't, okay, well, if you want to say I was raised in these religions or all that stuff, I mean, yeah, I can see how it doesn't work. I mean, I'm much more keen to having veganism be my religion, uh, like world peace, like meta world peace or something be my religion or something like that. It's because you haven't found the key. Well, I mean, the key, I don't know. I feel like now you're just trying to, um, What's that damn word? Not seduce me. Well, that's all, the hour is up. Yeah, so have fun with your 7 p.m. and I'll do something with my 10 p.m. But it was nice to meet you, Tanisha. I wish you would have an icon so I could see your face or make some videos or something. Sorry, I don't have a anywhere to donate or whatever. I'll try to be more professional in the future. I wouldn't mind talking more. Well, I'm trying to do this a little bit more seriously than what it's turned into. But I guess we can run off like, a little bit. I don't know why anybody would want to talk to me. I mean, I smoke. I, I'm not drinking I'm drinking filtered water, but it's not the purest water from the Alps. It's not like I got this water from the spring from the mountain over there. And I'm just, you know, I don't know. I don't know why anybody would really want to talk to me. I mean, I try not to look, whatever. I've been making videos for quite some time, like, and it's okay. Oh, sweetie, if you go by serious, then you never enjoy life. You have to learn to be wise yet lighten up about it. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with this thing? Yeah, I know. All right. Well, it's nice meeting you. Thanks for watching. Ugh. I'll try to lighten up. All right. Bye, Tanisha.